What is up, guys? Today is a good day because we're going to talk about real estate leases, right? So you guys are always asking about different questions regarding property management. And, it's funny because some of you are doing it directly. Some of you guys are having property managers. Of course, I don't know everything, right? I'm relatively new to this. I've been doing this for 4 years, but I've been doing it on the transactional side for a long time. I mean, understanding how to work with homeowners is totally different than understanding how to work with investors, and especially people that are doing property management. But over the course of my time, hey, what's up, Chad? Thank you so much for joining, man. And over the course of my time, I've picked up a few things understanding how leases work. So there's going to be two distinctive, ones where you're going through a property manager, ones where you're going directly by yourself. Now, if you're going directly by yourself, we've been doing a little bit of a series on these lately, where we're talking about, what kind of property management system is working. Shout out to you, Chad, man. We got a interview with Hemlane. It almost happened today. I don't know if you guys seen the title of this video, but it changed a couple of times. Almost Hemlane wanted to hop on with us tonight. Then they changed, and hey, what's up, Jason? It's good to see you, man. How you doing, man? We hopped around, but we're going to figure it out and we're going to get you guys a video. Also coming up, hopefully by Thursday, we'll see. We're going to have Senya and Emmanuel on a video talking about that property they picked up for $61,000. Well, Emmanuel sold it to Senya for $61,000. And to us, we'd be like, what? Like that is crazy for a turnkey property. But you got to hear both sides of the story. It's real interesting. So that should be coming up Thursday. I know, Jason, we were going to have Donna here with us, but last minute changes. I got an email saying that they couldn't make it tonight, that they wanted to reschedule, have a phone call, and then set up for a live probably next week. So, at first we thought we were going to go straight into it. I was surprised. Like they were like, hey, yeah, let's do it. It is what it is. So, let's talk about today's. Let's talk about leases, right? So one thing that I think I want to talk to you guys about overall is the fact of landlords consistently allowing people to work on their properties, allowing their tenants to work on their properties. Dude, guys, you guys got to stop that. I mean, I'm sure you two probably already know already, but I mean, it's wild the amount of people that are allowing their tenants to work on their properties, and they're not even realizing that the minute that you let somebody work on your property, they have the right to add a mechanics lien onto that property. It doesn't matter if that's your tenant or not, or if they're paying you rent and maybe you discount the rent or something like that. You work out a deal that way. It does not matter. They can put a lien on your property with a mechanics lien and do the same process as the tax sales, foreclose on it, take over your property, or battle you for it. Otherwise, it's just going to be a pain in your side, right? I'm seeing this multiple times in the last couple of months, and it's crazy. It's like, dude, guys, please don't let nobody work on your house, The other thing that I'm seeing is, it's so funny. They're like, never rent to anybody that you feel is smarter than you. And it's so funny because, like, I don't know if you guys watch Stephen Graham, but I really like that dude. And I believe, if I'm not wrong, the dude from ORAT, Zuber, actually did a video with him. So that was pretty incredible. That dude was a real estate agent too. And it was pretty crazy because he's like, my first rental, I rented to an attorney. And that attorney was the worst tenant he ever had in his life. It wasn't because he was a bad tenant. It was because the guy knew how to work the system. And so he's seen his contract and noticed, I guess over a couple of months of paying him, that he was taking the money directly from the tenant and paying the mortgage. And that's how he was doing it. Boom, boom, every month, right? Well, then the attorney was pretty smart. He's like, oh, so if I stop paying you, you stop paying the mortgage, you default on the mortgage, you can't kick me out. You can't evict somebody while there's a default on the mortgage. Apparently that's a thing. Check out Stephen Graham's video if you guys are curious. So it took this guy, I want to say like 3 years to get this guy out of his property. But it's because he kept defaulting because nobody was paying on the property. And I've heard it a ton from a ton of different groups. Be careful who you rent to, because if they're smarter than you, they're probably going to get the upper hand, And then, working with property managers is a whole nother thing. You're trusting this group that you don't really know that well, and you're trying to get a relationship with them. You're trying to say, okay, they got good reviews, they're part of this area, or maybe they know these people. That's why you definitely want to lean on our community, because if one person screws up, it screws them out of the entire community. So I just noticed my tattoo showing. I'm sorry, guys. So yeah, we definitely don't want to just go and pick a random property management company, right? We want to be able to choose somebody that's going to be trusted. And what if you didn't have the community? How are you checking to see if this property management company is good? I'll tell you what, there's been a name that I've been hearing, and obviously we know our group, right? Our group we trust. There are other people outside of this group, and I'm not trying to talk, smack or anything, but it's like I've been hearing this one that isn't, has nothing to do with our group. And this one, what was it? It was one of the purchases. I believe it might have even been a purchase that Senya was going to do with me. And we heard about this property management company, out there. I'm not going to say any names. So we look it up, and they're like a 2.9 star, 3-star, or something like that. And we're like, okay, damn, like what's going on here? And, apparently they're national, international, this and that. They got great advertising, but they suck, and then we look at their rent roll. What's up, Ryan? Let's reciprocate now. No, 100%, man. Let's do it. If you got anything that you want to say, let me know. Love to hear what you guys have to think on leases, guys, because like I said, I don't know everything. I'm just spitballing the stuff that I had out of my experience and I'm seeing other investors do. But yeah, I mean, checking those reviews are crazy, man, because like this one, we found they were like 2.9, 3-star group. We looked at their lease, and their lease was like, I mean, come on. It was, I'm not going to say it was like horrible, right? They had the names of the tenants in there. They got the landlord in there. But at the same time, there was so much that wasn't accounted for. I mean, you're not even identifying how are they going to pay you. You're not even identifying where your office is, how you're able to, specific clauses like damn, why can't I think of it? I'm over here about to talk smack about a clause that they don't have, and I can't remember the name of it. Sub-renting, there's another name for it. Subleasing. There we go. Boom. The name of the video. I should remember that. I got myself a Red Bull today. Hey, all of us start posting about Red Bull. Maybe we can get a sponsorship as a team. Anyways, so this group, man, it was incredible that they didn't have clauses about subcontracting, about pets, about the mechanics liens and working on the property, and so it makes you think like, okay, this group, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm this intelligent person and amazing expert in this field of property management. No, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm relatively new to it myself, but at the same time, I understand from working as a traditional realtor for so long that there is certain parameters that you have to think about when you're looking at a specific person, when you're helping them. And I mean, how can you not have something that talks about subleasing and, this, what's it called? Not subleasing to the mechanics liens and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's like those type of things can be a big factor. What about payment structure, right? We're talking about property management. Oh, hey, Jason, I was going to do my first lease in the next couple of months. I'm all ears. I'm having updated 2024 Chicago one to copy, but that's about it. Hey, dude, if you need a copy of a lease, I got plenty of copies. Even for Chicago, I can get a hold of them. So if you need anything, I can help you. Just toss it. It's whatever. You're in our community. That's all that matters. So yeah, this one that we seen, it was garbage, man. I mean, these people could have, it basically just had a bunch of bylines and said, pay this monthly, this time, address, boom. And bunch of liability open there. So let's talk about what's the payment structure of the property management. I mean, I guess we're going to go into property management review real quick here. Are they, yeah, no problem, Jason. Are they charging you up front? You know, as a realtor, if I'm going to advertise your property on the MLS, the usage of the MLS does cost. So we do have to have an upfront charge. Some people do a full first month's rent. Some people do a percentage. Some people do half first month's rent. And, you know, that's the initial charge because it does on the back end charge us, you know. Are you charging an office policy? Personally, as of right now, I'm not charging an office policy, but I know if we were to go and do an actual purchase, there would be an office policy in place. That's another fee. Let's say, you know, what are the parameters if you decide to sell it or do an option purchase? You're leasing. What if that person wants to buy it in the next year? Are you going to make that part of their agreement? That's option purchase there, you know. Now, what are the parameters around what the property management is charging there? Is it okay, so we're talking for upfront fee. Is there an upfront fee? How much is it monthly? Of course, everybody wants to know that. Are there any other fees associated? Now let's think about it. What other fees could there be that we don't know about right off the top of their heads? Well, there's going to be, if they do project management for you, there's going to be a fee. If they do evictions for you, there might be a fee. If they, you know, let's see. Oh man, this is a good one. There's a list of different fees, and I might have to add this and send it to you guys as a group, but there are a bunch of different opportunities for property management to make money, but at the same time, those are things that you don't expect up front as a landlord. So those are definitely things you're going to have to ask if you decide to go down the property management route. If not, put these things into your, you know, if you're going to do it your direct self and have that contract with your tenants, make sure that you're putting the proper charges in place. You know, hey, if I'm going to have to evict you, this is going to end up being your own charge. You know, if I'm going to, you know, repair something that's damaged, it's your own fault. You know, the only way that it'll be my fault is if I truly can have somebody signify that you had no part of it. Hey, what's up, Ryan? It says, I bought and learned from Lease Options, of course. Oh, the options course. So whose course, if you don't mind me asking? I'd be curious to know. But those lease options are interesting. I had somebody call me about that the other day. One of the investors in the community, somebody wanted to pick up his property on lease option. And I was like, hey, man, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. It just depends on, you know, why. Always asking those questions. So, yeah, so we got, what about the different parameters? Are you going to have something in there that signifies if I sell this property? This is a huge thing that you guys have to deal with when you're going and purchasing properties, right? When you're purchasing a multifamily or going in to see a lease, you guys know, hey, okay, is there any leases here? What do those leases say? Do I have to adhere to this lease? If there's a property manager in place, this is another slick thing that property managers do. If you notice, some property managers don't even have your name on the lease between the property manager to the tenant. They'll keep the leases completely different, where I will have an agreement with my property manager, and this agreement is how they take care of me. And then the property manager will have a lease with the tenant, but my name's not involved on the second document. It's only the property manager and the tenant. The reason they do that is for job security. So let's say, for example, I go and I sell the property, then they know, hey, okay, well, that tenant adheres to my lease, and I have a lease here no matter if there's a sale or not. So you're going to have to take me with it. It's a job security thing for sure. Oh, Joe McCall, that's his course. Hey, speaking of which, we were talking about Mansky the other day. I forgot what it was, but shout out to Mansky, Financial Mansky. I you know, didn't realize that I had him in my CRM. So I didn't know you guys knew him, but you know, I've worked with him a couple of times, and you know, super cool guy. You know, but yeah, I was just looking at some videos and we were talking about it the other day. Anyways, so what was I getting at? Yeah, things that you have to pay attention to. If you're going to go do it yourself, what kind of terms are you putting in there? Where if you sell the property, if you let it go into lease option, you know, things like that. Let's see what else. I got a lease in front of me, just for a frame of reference. Also, this is the thing that I like to do, and I think it's more protective. Excuse me. A lot of property managers are licensed brokers, and you don't have to be part of the board in order to be a property manager. A lot of them aren't. It's a way to save money. It's a way to, essentially not pay additional costs. And it does get expensive being part of the board. But the great part is you have government-backed leases and agreements here that aren't just legal. These are coming directly from the national associations. So, I personally think that these are more secure. I like to use them. I've used these documents only in my entire career. They've always protected my behind. So anyways, and I'm just talking if you were to choose a property manager, what kind of agreements do they have? Let's see. So how are they receiving payment? If you're setting this up, we already had a video on it, right? And I think both of you guys were in that video, so I appreciate you guys. How are you going to receive payment? Is it going to be money order? Is it going to be ACH? Is it going to be, and shout out to Jason here, man. I feel sorry for you. You don't get to choose that, huh? I think that's what you said on the last time. You're like, yeah, I don't get to choose that. If they bring me the money and it's a legitimate form, then I can receive it, or I have to receive it. Let's see here. So, as far as this agreement, or as far as the agreements that I run through, they pretty much identify, oh yeah, they pretty much identify the same as the purchase agreements. Yeah, so the one thing that sucks about not having a property manager is that you guys are going to have to do those open houses or be able to offer access. My recommendation to you guys is, like I just said a second ago, host an open house. Be like, okay, you want to see it? Cool. You want to see it? Cool. Get on my list. Here's a list. Here's a list. And essentially build up a little database, be like, hey, we're going to have an open house between these hours. See you there. That way you only have to go once a week or once every 2 weeks or something like that. You're not killing yourself over it. A lot of people don't do that. They just go as they get people, and it's a lot of running around. That's what I would do as your property manager. The other aspect is being able to identify who is a real player, who's not, right? What systems are you using? We already talked about it. Hemlane seems like it's a dope system, and I can't wait to have that lady on here. So, we were going to have her, man, I'm telling you, but it's all right. Hey, sometimes you gotta wait for the next bite. All right, but let's see here. Management responsibilities. If you're going to have a property manager, are they just being your broker, or are they capable of being both? That's a big factor. Say if you're going through someone like me, am I able to do both? We would have to make that agreement, in writing. With a lot of property management companies, of course, you're going there for one thing. They might not even be skilled enough to go into actual transactional sales. So, recording at property. This is a good one. So, if you have the right to record on your property, the problem is you got to be careful about it. If you want to set up cameras and a security system, go right ahead. That's your right. That is your property. Of course, if you're going to lease it out, there are parameters, right? Speaking of which, hey guys, if you didn't know, the 30th in 4 days is going to be the end of our registration period, at least for Indiana. So everybody that has not registered for rentals, please do that before the 30th. Okay, 30th is the cutoff. And hopefully you get multiple people, so they got to act fast. Yeah, no, true. I wish there was a way to I don't know if this is right for me to say. In transactional sales, you're allowed to start a bidding war. You know what I mean? What if there was a bidding war for rentals? I'll pay 22, I'll pay 23. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know if that's ethical or legal or something like that, but I'm gonna look into that. That'd be kind of funny. Let's see, what else do we got here? Quarterly inspections. This is a good one. I do quarterly inspections. I don't know about you guys, but I think that you guys definitely should do register for rentals. Oh, Jason, yeah. So we have a yearly registration, and as long as you have that registration, I don't know the full parameters around it, but the gist is, as long as you have the registration, you'll be able to rent through the year, abiding by any kind of government programs and things like that. Fair Housing Authority requires you to be able to be on the local municipality's rental registration. So that's essentially that there. So, definitely check it out for your local municipality, man. I know you're in Illinois. Shout out to you, man. I'd love to get you on a video and talk about the difference between Indiana and Illinois rentals too, because I'm going to be getting my license soon over there. So that'll be a goal there. So, yeah, quarterly inspections, guys. If your house is getting torn up, how bad is it? And do you think you could have mitigated that? I think one very easy way is to do quarterly inspections. I used to do monthly inspections, but that's bothering them too much. You're going to cause problems, man. Doing a quarterly inspection, that's like every 3 months, and that's pretty consistent. You'll be able to catch anything as it pops up. And the people tend to be pretty happy because you're catching stuff before it even ends up being an issue. So, and have a legitimate inspection. Send out an inspector. Of course, or you can just use that checklist. We got the checklist in the Discord. So for you guys, get that checklist. I've only had my properties for 2 months. No, I get you, man. And that's the curiosity is like, what are the parameters? I mean, I know. See, I'm still new to the housing authority thing, man. When you're pairing them up with the property management, because I'm used to go out, you advertise, you send it to the general public, you do your thing, right? And then there's this difference with the housing authority where they make you go through these specific parameters, so it's very new to me. So Ryan, if you know anything about it, let us know. But yeah, essentially that's that. Make sure you do that registration so you don't have any problems if possible. So what else? If you're going with, this is a good one, maintenance of property and operations of the property, right? Oftentimes you'll notice that property managers will set up with you some type of minimum withholding. So like for us, we do a $300 withholding. So that means every single month you get something, we're going to hold $300 in case of there ever being an issue. That money's yours. If you need it at any time, I'll give it to you. The problem is we need to have a withholding, like a little piggy bank, essentially, in case there ends up being an issue with the property. Now, of course, if it goes over $300 all at once, that's where I'm going to tell you, hey, we had an issue. We're going to need you to essentially allow us to fix this issue. But if it's a light bulb or if it's somebody's lights cut out or something like that, yeah, I'm going to send a contractor over there and hey, fix it for 30 minutes. But that is definitely something you'll see a lot of property managers do, and it's a good practice. They should be doing this. Actually, if they're not doing this, then that's an issue, because it's like, how are you keeping up with the system? Are you going to bother me every single time there's an issue? No, just bother me whenever there's a serious issue. Okay, let's see here. So, yeah, I mean, monthly rents. What are we seeing in the market? I think the average is like 10%, right? Going cheaper is good. It helps you if you were to go with the property manager. And of course, going by yourself is always the best option, especially when you're starting out with a lower number. If you're going to go by yourself, definitely figure out a system. I mean, Jason, you're already killing it, bro. You're doing the Hemline, and that system looks pretty foolproof, man. You'll have a smooth time. And I think that you'll find some property management companies that are going dirt cheap. Definitely be aware of them, I mean, damn, if this person's letting me, lease, as a single family for 4%, 3%, damn, what's going on here? I mean, we're averaging, 10, 8%, but yeah. So let's see here. What about terminations, man? There are such a thing as tenants' rights. So that is that's something that you got to be aware of. You can't just kick somebody out. You got to give them their rights to 30 days. Give them a 30-day notice, such and such. If they refuse, you got to take them to litigation, put them through an eviction process or an ejection process. You can actually do this, right? A lot of people think that you automatically, and I might be butchering this because I haven't really, I haven't completed this from beginning to end, but I've started this before, where you don't have to set for an eviction process. You can actually take them to small claims court for the rent that they're missing and pursue an ejection process. So it's essentially the same thing, but small claims court, it's a lot faster, moves a lot quicker, and you're able to kind of scare them, I guess you could say. I don't know how different it is from a regular eviction process, but you're able to make that maneuver pretty quickly, and it's a lot cheaper. It's like $100, $125. So I know eviction processes can be like $600. So let's see here. I'm going to pull up an agreement between a tenant or a property manager and a lease. So let's see actually what you guys should have in your agreements. This is a document I have here, and maybe I'll show it. This might be actually pretty good for you guys. Let's see here. Was I just going over this? No. Yeah. Let me actually. I'm gonna pull up a blank one because I don't want you guys to see anybody with their names on it. Red Bull. I'm telling you, let's get sponsored. A bunch of us get these Red Bulls and go check out properties after 5 o'clock. I'm just kidding. All right. Here, what are we trying to do? I'm trying to open up a lease agreement for you guys so you guys can check it out and see what the board goes with. The only reason I want to do this is because, like Jason, you guys that are doing it on your own, this is what I would recommend for you to have on here. Have all of this stuff on there. Shoot. Of course, it's making me fill in a bunch of shit. Excuse my language. I probably should stop cussing on the lives. Yeah. Because this program's paired up with Rent Spree. So I personally like Rent Spree, and that's the reason that I'm always talking about it. Is because it's a great program. It pairs directly up. Okay. Why are you not? Oh, okay. All right. So sorry to have you guys wait. Do you guys have any questions right now? Anything that I should research, look up, or something I might have some type of history on? And if not, we're going to go straight into it. All right. Let me see if I can finally ready. Let's see if I can share this screen here. Boom. Okay. So again, I'm not going to go through this line by line with you guys like I did the other agreement, but these are just some different components that I would recommend having in yours. Essentially, and don't copy this. Hey, I'm not giving you guys the right to copy this verbatim. That's going to cause you guys problems, but take the chunks out of here. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's saying who the parties are, what the address is, the terms, and this is obviously a broker's agreement, so you guys can ignore the broker's commission if you're doing your own lease. Parameters around the rent. This is a good point. You are asking for a monetized amount of money. What is the consideration? What are you truly offering them? You guys want to itemize that. I am offering you the house, I am offering you this much land. I'm offering you, the full entity of the house, the basement, roof, ceiling, or the main floor of the unit. I am offering you the washer, dryer, appliances, things like that. A lot of people kind of skimp on the agreements, so they don't itemize every single thing, and it ends up being an issue. I'm going to skip over all of the agent type stuff. Conditions. If you guys ever know about any bad conditions about the property, make that known, man. I mean, just tell them, hey, this doesn't work right. I'm telling you to stay away from it. This doesn't work right now. I got a shed that's kind of leaning a little bit. Don't go by the shed. Don't mess with the shed. Please don't touch the shed. If they touch it and somebody gets hurt, hey, you got it in writing right here. You agree to not touch the shed. So, they might help you. You definitely have that insurance in case. Let's see here. Yeah, no, this is just all agent stuff. For housing, of course, you want to have that. You want to be careful who you're seeking. This is a thing that a lot of people mess up. And currently, I'm not going to lie to you, I had a bit of trouble. You can't go, for a lot of you, consideration is a legal term for the values being exchanged in a transaction. Okay, so yeah, values. That's what I was trying to say is like, okay, you're giving a dollar amount. You also got to explain what is the full entity or what are all of the bills that you're offering this person. A lot of people are just like, oh, this address, boom. You know what I mean? And, then they go on to tell the tenant what they can't do. Fair housing. This is a good one to talk about here because, guys, one thing I've noticed is that you can't go out and say, "Hey, this is a Section 8 property. I only want Section 8 tenants." That is against the Fair Housing Act, actually. You can't say that. You can't publicly list a property. Can you tell them they are required to have renters insurance in Indiana? Yeah, yeah, you can. You could definitely make it a requirement. What was it? So with the Fair Housing Act, you can't come out and say, "Hey, I'm only looking for Section 8 tenants." That's where you got to be very careful, guys. A lot of people are coming out and they're saying, "Hey, I only take Section 8 tenants. I only take disabled veterans, or I only take, families, widowed families, or something like that." That's against fair housing laws. So you have to make it open to everyone. Again, you have to also be able to prove why is it that you chose somebody over somebody else. You want to be very careful in trying to do favors or trying to say, trying to pick up these Section 8 properties or these Section 8 tenants when you're advertising. That's a very, very dangerous thing that can happen, guys. You guys want to make sure that you're getting the least amount of no's. You're giving out the least amount of no's to be able to get what you want done, or else it's going to cause problems in the community. That'll cause people to want to appeal it and maybe, essentially not appeal it, but you know what I'm saying, dispute it. Yeah, so recordings at the properties, again, just be careful, be mindful and respectful, but you can put security cameras and stuff like that. Even illegal immigrants here in Chicago, another new rule. Oh, okay. Yeah, to be honest with you, I know a guy, and I'm not gonna lie, man. He's got a system. He's making some good money. I would not recommend that style of renting, and he's kind of doing that. Equality, yeah, equality. Yeah. So I think that this guy, I know that he's kind of doing what you're saying, Jason, and hey, more power to him, man. He's providing a home. They're happy. It's a little crazy, too many people in a house, but it is what it is. It's, getting the job done and making money for their families. So, all right. What other kind of details? Man, shouldn't have had that Bud Light, that Red Bull. I got like a burp. But yeah, no, there's some extra info for you guys. Whew. Okay. So collection of income. Here we go. Yeah. So just being careful to make make sure that their responsibility is to bring that funds. Having an employee section isn't that bad, actually, because I would even recommend this one, because this employees byline, because who's to say property manager costs you 8%, 10% a month, right? Who's to say you guys don't hire a VA to help you guys? Hiring a VA can be 10 times cheaper. It can be all online. Send the tenant through the portal, so maybe having that employees one isn't that bad to have for you guys. Let's see here. Yep. And that's about it. So, tonight was probably going to be a quicker one, but I wanted to go over those main two. Always make sure too that you have, let's see, you drank it too fast. Yeah, no, I swear, man, I'm over here like trying to talk and I got a frog in my throat, man. Let's see here. Let's see if there's anything else I want to show you guys before we hop off here. What kind of drink do you guys like? I don't know. Do you guys drink energy drinks? I'm usually a coffee guy, but man, I do like energy drinks. I used to be a bouncer at a bar, and we would get free Red Bulls every time, like all the time. It was great. So let's see here. Guys, itemizing is so important. You see this one right here? This is a residential lease data form. So I am always making sure I do not skimp out on what are the details of this property. Guys, I'm telling you, don't forget something like this. You want to itemize every single thing about the property. And if you guys need, I can send you one without all the realtor stuff on it. But it's just saying the details of the property. Square footage, what are they getting? What are everything in association to it? So yeah, if you guys want, I can send you guys one without the realtor stuff on it. But yeah, this is a great way to itemize. I'd even have them sign something like this to be like, hey, this is what you're getting, so you can't dispute later. That's definitely something that's understatement there. Not an energy drink guy, but I like bangs. Coffee's first, though. No, I hear you. You know, I went to the Arnold Classic. I don't know if you guys are into working out, but I was a huge fan, and I was like super deep in the Kool-Aid of working out. And I went to the Arnold Classic a few years ago, and when I went there, I went with my brother, and they were giving out Reigns for free. You know, those energy drinks, because I guess they were endorsed by the event, or they were sponsoring the event. It was great. It was awesome. Yeah. So make sure you have an application process. I have a method of payment that I explained to them. And yeah, I mean, you keep it very simple. You know, you just have details on the property, and then you have your direct, well, for you guys will know it's coming directly to you. Make sure you write the correct tax forms, guys. I mean, you want to make sure that you're doing this, you know, completely correct. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming to today's video. We're going to cut it just a little bit early because we really didn't have much to talk about today. We wanted to talk about leases, but we've been talking about it all this week. And, you know, we know what kind of property management companies are, like, what are the differences between the good and bad ones. We know what are the type of things you want to have in your lease between your property manager and your tenant. We know what kind of quality person we want to look for, right? But we want to also make sure it's fair. We might want to make sure we're advertising to the public, but we're also being very careful to make sure we're getting the type of tenant we want. So guys, you know, yeah, time will pay you well. No, I agree. I agree, Ryan, and I appreciate it. And I love your videos, man. I'm seeing you do them every single day. I'm watching them too. Jason, man, you need to start doing some videos with us, man. Even if you want, I'll even do videos with you, man. So, you know, I'll have you hop on here and we'll do this every so often. Same thing for you, Ryan. Guys, we need to get out there. This is more of a networking thing than it is anything else. Opportunities will only come if you put yourself outside of the comfort zone. So I appreciate you guys. I will catch you later. And for my very famous little outro, 11 seconds.